Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's stream. We're going to get started in just 15 minutes. Until then, we have time for a little bit of Q&A and just to hang out. Hey, Arlie and Nikki, welcome to my moderators. Let's see if I missed anyone else. Okay. And of course, welcome Cheryl, Lauren, and Small. My members who are here early, and Isa, welcome. All right. We got 15 minutes, so take your time. You can look over the prerequisites for today's class. Remember, it's going to be an intermediate level class, so you want to make sure you're familiar with conjugating action and descriptive verbs always for any intermediate topic. If you're still learning about basic conjugation rules, past tense, future tense, all these sorts of basic concepts, then this might not be appropriate for your level. And you also want to especially be familiar with how to conjugate and use the gaio form. I just realized the gaio form kind of reminds me of like the character Caillou, or is it Gaio? Anyway, you want to make sure you can conjugate this form and use it because today's form involves this. Same conjugation rules for this. And we're not going to be covering this form today. I will mention it, but we're not going to be covering how to make it again. So you want to be familiar with this as well as conjugating before starting today's lesson. Good news is, though, you still have time actually to watch my live stream lessons, the abridged versions about these two topics, especially this one. You can find this in one of the live streams I did, and I think the section about this is like 2 minutes long, so you can learn that pretty quick. Let's see who else is here. Oh, that is sour. Wow, that is sour. I took a sip. Oh, that's some sour wild strawberry. Okay. Yeah, if anyone has just come here, don't worry, you're early. We always start on time at 2 o'clock to allow people to come in. I don't start early because I think it wouldn't really be fair. And what about merch? Well, I haven't done any announcements yet. We're just saying hi. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Someone earlier said, Cream learns Hannah Sill. I don't know how to say your name. My phone is on 3%. Wow. You really should charge your phone. You have 15 minutes to charge your phone. Yeah, you have 15 minutes to charge your phone. Turn off the display and just charge it. And you'll get the most possible time from that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty low, 3%. Oh yeah, so where I am right now, let me show you guys. I just found this this road that was kind of in the middle of nowhere, alongside actually I can't remember what did the image websites say where I am. Anyway, I just thought it would be a nice place to do the live stream for today, so that's why we are here. It just looked like a lovely place to stream from. Yeah. Let's see who else is here. Alex Full Metal. Hey, I recognize some of these names. Just looking through some of the names, see if I recognize anyone else. Ansel Imnida. Hello. Katie Girl. Message retracted. Interesting. 한국 지금 오전 6시 42분이에요. I guess so. Korea right now, it is 6:42 in the morning. Kobugi. Thank you, Kobugi. Mr. Turtle. Is this lesson for beginners? No, Grizzly. You can check the title. It's intermediate level. 안 할까봐 걱정했는데. What were you worried that who wouldn't do? But yeah, that is going to be one of the forms we're learning today. There's actually two forms we're learning today related to gaba, not just one. That's one of them. There's another one. 사랑 아기. 안녕하세요, 선생님. 잘 지냈어요? 네, 잘 지냈어요. FOS. It's still good to stay even if you're a beginner. You might be able to still get something out of this lesson as long as you're able to conjugate verbs and use the gaio form. If you're not familiar with this, then I wouldn't think you would get anything out of today's lesson. Wow, you're an American. It's Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, okay? You are. Your, not your, like it's yours. Okay? Just memorize that. I won't be able to make it to the stream. Oh, that's too bad, though. I've got to go to school. School on a Sunday? That is just terrible. Let's see. Wow, the subtitles work very well live. They do? These subtitles, I guarantee you, will not work as soon as I start speaking in Korean. Let's start. 정말 엉망일 거예요. I'm trying to speak very clearly and slowly. I doubt it's going to pick that up, though. 안녕하세요. What do the subtitles say now? I just came across this sentence. 정해진 대로 하느냐 아니면 랜덤으로 뽑아서 하느냐인데 the 느냐 is I think I actually might have talked about that during a previous live stream. There's a few use. What? Dims! You just pop up. You just pop up like a Pop-Tart and drop $100 into my chat. Gems. I wrote up these prerequisites. I have to clear them off so I can write you as my producer for today's live stream. My producer for today's live stream is Gems. He gets the special Chiat letter because it's really strong J sound. Gems. Thank you. Now I got to do 100 dabs. Got to do 100 dabs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 84, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90, 1, 92, 93, 4, 5, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All right, so I'm out of breath. That took me 2 straight minutes. Okay. What are we teaching today? What are we doing today? You guys might have to remind me. What are we? Oh yeah, gaba. We're teaching the gaba form. Thanks again to our today's sponsor, Gyms, who just thank you for supporting the stream today. And so we have some announcements. As usual, let me just stick one of these things up. Oh yeah, I like this one. Not too many people are getting this one, but I like this one personally. And there we go. There's merchandise if you want another way to support me. It's a good time for sweaters. Getting cold now. In other announcements, make sure to get the worksheet for today's live stream. It's available on Patreon. Also, there will be an outline. I'm like out of breath. Also, there will be an outline for today's stream posted to my Patreon page as soon as this live stream ends. And if you are a member of this channel, you can watch my channel tonight and get access to the abridged version of today's lesson tonight. So you don't have to wait until Wednesday like everyone else for the abridged version. Okay. Okay, small. There's some more. There's a few more letters in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6. I guess that would be a 세상 지읒, a triple double 지읒. Gems. I almost like hurt my throat. They're really hard. When King Sejong developed Hangul, he did have this 6 지읒 letter, but they had to get rid of it. It was made just for Gems, but Gems wasn't born yet in that dynasty, so they had to, they got rid of it. It was a huge controversy, but we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. All right. Ansomnida. I love my Billy hoodie. Oh, you got a hoodie. Thanks. I have got a hoodie too. Let me show you guys. I actually did. I ordered one for myself. Well, it's inside out. Where is it? Let me turn it back in. Okay. Yeah, I have to turn it back. Oh, yeah. See? Yes, if you're wondering, I designed all of them. I'll add some more designs in the future, but for right now, that's all I have. So maybe sometime next year, I'll put up some new designs. I'm still working on some stuff. I've got some good ideas coming. Okay. All right. If anyone has any questions, you have 5 minutes before we start our lesson today. Whew. Tiffany stay. 내일 늦게 일어날까봐 자야겠어요. 안녕히 계세요, 여러분. Heart. Take care, Tiffany. Take care. Let's see. But good usage of one of the forms we're going to be covering today. Again, we're going to be learning 2 forms, 2 uses with this form that we're learning today. So it's not, it is that one. That's the main one we'll do. But there's another one we're going to be talking about too at the end. Hey, Chris. What's up, Chris? Yes, small. That's right. You spelled it correct now. Whew. Everyone coming in and wondering why I'm like out of breath just standing here. Probably thinking, wow, Billy is not in good shape. Quarantine has not been good for Billy. Actually, I am not quarantined. I haven't gotten sick yet. Cross my fingers. I've been staying at home most of the time. Okay. Oh, that is sour. Oh. Okay. Real quick again. So you want to make sure for today's lesson, no matter what your level is, that you know how to conjugate verbs and use the 가요 form. I got a new special marker. It's a see-through marker. It uses a special camera on the back of this board, and it has a GPS device in here that tells it where it is on my board, so that it changes the picture. It's actually an LED screen on top of this eraser. So it's really advanced. Look how fast it is. There's like no lag. No matter how fast I move it, there's no lag. It's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I got a pack of these from eBay. Okay. Ooh. I'm glad you don't have 1,000. Oh my, Lau, I would just die. Maybe I should like, I don't know. I gotta get a haircut, by the way. I've let my hair grow. You can see it's not really that long or anything, but it's been growing now since I'd say September. I think it's time I get another haircut. I'll cut it really short this time. It's because it's frustrating to have to deal with it. Like, it's not long or anything, but it starts going like over my ears, you know, and like it looks okay, and other people would think, oh, your hair looks nice. But really, it's like, oh, it's annoying. It's like growing down on the sides. It's like getting longer in the around my ears, and yeah. So I'm probably just gonna cut it all off. Not all of it, but I'll cut it short, really short, like army short, not BTS army short, but like actual joining the army short. Okay. Kenneth Cho, I don't know any words. I only know how to read Korean because you taught me. This might not be the best grammar lesson for you then. I'm glad you know the alphabet though. That's great. I'm glad I was able to help. Cut the sides and keep the top long. I don't have time for that, Small. I'm not that skilled, okay? I have a electric, one of those razors that they use at the barber shop. I have one of those. And I can move it over my head a bunch of times, but I'm not like, let me fade here from a 2 to a 3. No, I'm not doing any of that. It's just like all into a plastic Walmart bag, throw it in the trash, take a shower, and I'm good. So that's what it's going to be. Okay, get a mohawk. Wow, I've tried a mohawk before, believe it or not. When I was 19, I tried a mohawk just for fun. Actually, it was a faux hawk because it wasn't like the whole thing. I didn't have long enough hair to do a real mohawk, but I don't know. I didn't really like it. I don't think it looked too great. I didn't get very many compliments, and it was too much trouble. It took me like 15 minutes to do it every morning. Yes, I felt that. Yeah. I have professional like haircut shears. I've cut my own hair before. It's just too much of a pain when I'm not going to go see anyone. Like if I'm going to prepare to meet someone, then I might try to put some more care into it. But lately I'm just staying at home. I see you guys. I wear a hat for goodness sake. I could like be bald and you guys wouldn't care, right? I have plenty of wigs you guys have seen in my videos, my long-haired wigs I use for playing characters. I'm good. See, it's just not a huge concern that I get my hair looking really nice lately. I just don't want it to bother me. Right now it's a little bit long, so it's bothering me. Oh, I didn't put Jim's name over here either. Let's put Jim's over here too. Jim's. Okay. And now let's get started with our lesson. So today we're going to be learning about a more intermediate level grammar form. Gaba. Now this is not the only part of the form. As every lesson I teach you, I always go into more detail about where forms came from or what they literally mean or different ways you might see them or multiple ways to use them. And today's lesson is going to be no different. First, let's learn how to conjugate this. So the way you make it is actually the exact same as the regular 가요 form. For example, 갈까요? 먹을까요? 할까요? Shall we go? Shall we eat something? Or shall we do something? It's the exact same conjugation. You take a verb stem. Now this can be any verb you want. This can be an action verb or a descriptive verb. And then you attach either if it ends in a consonant, or you'll just attach a lir if it ends in a vowel. And then you'll attach ga. And that's it. You're not going to attach yo here, ever. Because this is, although it's the same form, it's not the end of your sentence. We're still working with the same sentence. This is going to be used as a sentence connector, as a grammar form. So you will never add anything else after here. So, ga followed by pa, which is just actually pronounced like pa. Although this is poa, technically, people don't say ga poa, unless you're trying to pronounce it especially accurate. People just pronounce this quickly as pa, ga pa. Now, it's not going to be the same as ba, or anything like that. Ga pa. So it's a little bit softer, but you can say it like pa. So, gaba. What this is, and one more thing. You can also conjugate this in the past tense. So that would be the same as conjugating the ga form in the past tense. For example, instead of just 할까, in the present tense, you can also do 했을까. just want to point this out. So you can have present tense or you can do past tense. Both of these are okay. So you can say 할까 봐 or 했을까 봐, like that. Guys following along okay so far? Okay. What this is literally just a combination of the ga form and 보다, to see. First of all, what is the ga form? Guys, can you tell me what the ga form means? Now, this is different than 갈까. I'll say that. This is different than shall I or shall we. This is the other usage of 가요 when it's used with descriptive verbs and action verbs. So if I were to say, shall we go? Shall we do something? That is only with action verbs, right? You wouldn't say, shall we, descriptive verb, shall we be cold? That doesn't make any sense in Korean. You would say, shall we do something? You know, we could say, shall we get warm? Get, an action verb is okay, but not shall we be warm. So this is not the shall we form. This is a different 가요 form. Do you guys know what it means? $50 in donations. If I get $1,000 in donations, maybe I'll shave my head and wear a wig for next time. I don't know. Would that destroy my brand? Having a shaved head and wearing a hat? I don't know. That would look really weird. I don't know about that actually. Take it back. Take it back. No, don't summon James. Don't summon James to this. James done enough. James has done enough today. I can still wear a wig next time though. Yeah, I would say $50 donation. And well then what am I doing? No, we're not doing that. I'm not stooping that low. $500 and I will wear a wig the entire rest of today's live stream. Or if it's by the end of today's live stream, next live stream, for the entirety of the live stream, I will wear a wig. So $500 donation and I will wear a wig for the entire rest of this live stream. Under my hat. I guess it would be under my hat. Or it could be instead of my hat. Whatever. Either one's fine. Okay. Do not summon James. I'm half joking. Like, yeah, I would do it, but I'm not suggesting that I want that. I have standards, you know. Okay. What was I even saying? All right. So this 가요 means would or could. For example, if you were to say 오늘 날씨가 추울까요? 춥다, to be cold. 추울까요? Would it be cold today? Would the weather be cold today? Or could the weather be cold today? 이번 시험이 어려울까요? Could this test be difficult? 재밌을까요? Could something be entertaining? 영화가 재밌을까요? Could the movie be entertaining? Or would the movie be entertaining? 이 음식은 맛있을까요? Could this food be delicious? Would this food be delicious? So this form means like would or could, not shall we, although it's the same conjugation. It can be used with both action verbs and descriptive verbs. So would or could, and then 보다. Here it's conjugated as 봐. The reason is 봐 can be used in the middle of a sentence, so it's not completely conjugated as 봐요. Now, you could end the sentence with 봐 and 봐요, but we're not going to be looking at that right now. So, would and 보다. What does 보다 mean? 보다 means to see. So, I see that something could or would, if it's an action verb, do something, or if it's a descriptive verb, be something. So, I see that something would or could, verb, is literally what this form means. And that is what this form means. That's what it means. That is actually what this form means. But now that doesn't really translate very nicely into English. So we're going to have to translate this a little bit differently so that it'll make sense. I see, in this sort of sense, it looks like, yes, it looks like, as in to see, right? I looked at that person. 그 사람을 봤어요. I saw that person or I looked at that person. So it looks like something could or something would, verb, is literally what this form means. It looks like something could. in a certain sense. And when this form is used, actually, let me write this down. I want to make sure you guys can get this really well today. This is a very, very common form. I want to really make sure you guys get this. So you can think of this as, it looks like, or if you're using the past tense conjugation of ga here, then it would be looked like. So it looked like, or looks like, it would, or it could, and then verb, whatever verb's here. So if it's an action verb, you could say maybe it looked like it would snow. Literally, it looked like it could snow. 눈이 올까 봐. Or it looked like it could be cold. 추울까 봐. With a descriptive verb. So it looked like it could be cold. So what would you say after that in an English sentence? It looked like it could snow, so I wore a jacket. Sure. It looked like it would be cold, so I wore a jacket. It looked like the... actually, let me just take one of my good examples. It looked like the food would taste bad, so I was worried. It looked like the food at the restaurant would taste bad, so I was a little worried. These sort of usages. This is literally what this form means. It looks like, or it looked like, it would, or could, verb. Whether that's an action verb or a descriptive verb. So keep in mind, this is the literal meaning of the form, and that's actually how you can translate it literally into your head. But it's not used in every situation where we would say this in English. You wouldn't say, oh, it looked like I'm a little bit busy tomorrow. So actually, I'm trying to think of an example when you can't, now that I think about it. This is kind of used in that sense in English too, when we're like worried about something, like we're kind of bringing up something that could be a problem, right? Oh, I'm worried this could happen. So it looked like it could something. So what did I do in response to that? It's kind of a similar feeling in English, but I'm sure there's a lot of situations where it wouldn't work. So I don't want to say this is a natural way to translate it, but it's a literal way to translate it. Okay. So in that way, this form is used for explaining the reason why you do something or the reason why you did something. It was because it looked or looks like it would, verb, or could, verb, in that sense. So you can think of this another way. Not even looking at the time. Forget the timer. We're doing great. We're doing great, guys. Okay. This is how the form is used. This is the real world usage of this form. Literally meaning it looks like or looked like it would or could, verb, but in real usage, this is when you want to use that sort of construction. Because I was worried that, verb. So with our previous examples, because I was worried that it would snow, so I brought a coat. Because I worried that it would be cold, I stayed inside, or something like that. Because I was worried that. Worried. Now, in the form itself, gaba, there is no hint of worrying, right? I just explained the literal meaning of it. There is no word for worry in there. Ga, could it, would it? Pa, it looks like, it seems like. Literally, see, like, right? But this form is used whenever you want to express that you're worried about something. The speaker, him or herself, is worried that something will happen or something will be a certain way. Oh, hey, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Awesome. Chris White. Chris White. Oh, wait. I almost put an H in there and I stopped myself as soon as I wrote the H. I'm like, no, it's not. Chris White. Awesome. Thank you. Let's get in 20 dabs for Chris White. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you. Woo! Okay, it starts now. Oh my goodness. Chris is trying to, I did say momentarily, if I hit $500 in donations today, then I will wear a wig for the entire rest of the live stream if it's not already over, or for all of next live stream. I doubt that's going to happen, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. Okay. So, again, this form is used for explaining the reason why you are doing or why you did something. Because I was worried that. And then whatever verb you use before this form. So, therefore, what did I do? Or what am I doing? Because I am worried. Okay, there's still more to this form. There's a lot more to this form, guys. Now, I think this is probably where most grammar lessons will stop. They'll say, there you go. Enjoy the form, and give you some example sentences. But they are not Billy Go. We don't stop there. No, we keep going. Okay. So let me give you guys a tip. This is a pro tip. I guarantee you will not find this on the back of any cereal box. That is, if you're confused about how to use this form grammatically, grammatically, this form is used in the same way as kot kataso. Kot kata is the form that means I think. So I think something. I think something will happen with an action verb. Or I think something is with a descriptive verb. Or past tense. I think something was or something did happen. I think something happens. I think something. Verb. Therefore, because I think that. This is the same grammatical usage as the gaba form. So if you're ever wondering, if you make a sentence and you're wondering, did I grammatically use this correctly? Does it make sense? Could you switch it with the kot kata form? If you could, your sentence is probably fine. If you can't, if it sounds awkward now, well, you've made a mistake. Because we talked about this. The literal meaning of the form is, it looks like something. It seems like something could or would be or do something. And that is very similar to the called kata form. This kata form literally means something is similar to whatever verb. So if you say, 비가 오는 것 같아요, I think it is raining, you're literally saying, it is like raining. It is like raining. It looks like it could rain in that sort of sense. It's a similar grammatical usage. So if you're ever wondering how you can use this grammatically, just check it with this. This is a bonus for you guys for coming to the live stream today. I will not be putting this tip into the abridged video. I just wanted to give it to you guys to help you more fully understand how you can check if you're doing a good job. Okay, but we're not done. Don't go anywhere. Okay. So let me give you another overview of it. I'm still going to talk about it a little bit more, just to really drive it down into your heart, how this grammar form works. So you have A, whatever comes before the gaba form, followed by B, whatever comes after the gaba form. Just trying to write two words at the same time. Worried or afraid about A. Did... Oh, here we go. I was like, that I wrote it wrong. About A either happening or being. You might want to write this down if you think it's good. If not, I'll give you something else. Okay, so if we have our sentence here, we have A followed by gaba and then B, whatever comes after the form. What this means is the speaker, whoever's talking, does or did B. So they did something. And the reason was because they were worried or afraid about A. Now, if A is an action verb, they did it because they were worried or afraid that A would happen. And if it was a descriptive verb, then they did it because they were worried or afraid that it was because they were, let me say it again. I said the wrong letter. Or if it's a descriptive verb, then they did B because they were worried or afraid about A being a certain way. So if it's being delicious, being funny, being cold, being too big, or anything like that, that's why the speaker did or does B, because they were worried about A. So this is just another way you can think about how this form is used. So it's always used to show the reason why you are worried or afraid about something. That is how this form is used in real world Korean. But keep in mind, literally, there is no such meaning of fear in this form. It really is just, it looks like something would happen, or it looks like something would be a certain way. But the way that it's used then is to show you're afraid of something. You're worried about something. You're fearful of something. It doesn't have to be necessarily terrified about something. This can be just like concerned, a light worry. It doesn't have to be a really strong worry. You don't have to say, I was afraid of dying. You could be like, I was afraid they would run out of cream cheese at the supermarket. It could be that. It doesn't have to be a really big fear. It could just be a slight worry or a slight concern. I was worried they wouldn't have any strawberry left, so I went to Baskin-Robbins first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't really have to be a fear. Just anything, because literally, it looks like there's not going to be any strawberry ice cream at Baskin-Robbins, so I went there right away. That's why I went there in the morning, because I was worried they wouldn't have any strawberry ice cream, right? Doesn't have to be, I was worried that I would die if I didn't eat strawberry ice cream. It could be a really small worry. So it is for a worry or a fear, but it doesn't have to be a really strong one. It can really be literally anything that you're just worried about, big or small. Okay. Let's see. Wow, we have a lot of viewers in here today. This is the most viewers we've gotten in weeks. Okay, we got 150 people watching. Awesome. Oh, that's sour. Oh, it's so sour. Seriously, it wasn't that sour last week. I had the same thing last week. I think I added more water last time. Oh, and so I said, one more thing. I said you can use this gabayo form with the regular ga ending. So you can say like 할까 or even past tense. 했을까? But you can't do this in a future tense. I was worried because someone or something will do something. Or I was worried because something will be a certain way. You cannot use this form with future tense. So if you wanted to say, I'm going to go to the supermarket tomorrow early because I'm worried they will sell out of eggs. There will be no eggs. You cannot use this form. Okay? You cannot use this form to talk about the future. You could say, I'm worried they run out of, with the regular tense, 떨어질까 봐, 없을까 봐, that they won't have any. But you're not going to use this with any sort of additional future form. So regular conjugation or past tense conjugation, but not I don't even know how would you conjugate the future tense with this form anyway. 할 것일까? I guess you could do that. 할 것일까? That would be wrong. If you want to use the future tense, so don't try to do this. 할 걸까봐. 할 걸까봐. Don't do this. This is wrong. Instead, if you want to use the future tense, just go back to the 갔다 form, because I think future tense. I think there will not be something. 없을 것 같아서, because I think there won't be any ice cream. 아이스크림이 없을 것 같아서, like that. There will not in the future. If you need to emphasize the future tense, don't do it with the gaba form. Just switch to the 갔다 form. Okay, a few more things. I really want to make sure you guys master this. Oh yeah, so then what follows this form? What sorts of situations follow this form in Korean? Well, there are a few verbs you'll commonly see this form used with. One of them is 긴장하다. I'll write it with the object marker here. 긴장하다. 긴장하다 is to be nervous about something. So to be nervous. Also, it's used frequently with 걱정이다. 걱정이다 means to be a worry. Literally to worry about something. Or you'll also see this with, and I'll talk about these differences at the end of the lesson today. You also will see it with 걱정하다, literally to do a worry or to worry, as well as 걱정이, oops, what am I? I think trying to write the parentheses at the same time I was writing the subject marker and it just didn't look right. 걱정이 되다, which also means to worry. So 걱정이다, 걱정하다, 걱정되다. These all can translate as to worry. If you're wondering how they're different, I can talk about that after the main lesson. I can tell you which ones they're used with, but they all translate as to worry in English. So yeah, to worry, to worry, to worry, to be nervous about. So you're worried about, or it could be even scared. 겁이 나다. 겁 is cowardice. So literally cowardice, you get cowardice. Cowardice comes up. This is another word that's used just to mean you're afraid of something. You're afraid of doing something is 겁나다. If you're afraid of something, that's 무섭다. Like you're afraid of a movie. You're afraid of a spider. You're afraid of Hyunwoo suddenly walking into the classroom and telling you you're doing a terrible job, Billy. You're doing a terrible job. That sort of thing would be 무섭다. 겁나다 would be you're afraid of doing something. You're afraid of giving a speech. You're afraid of teaching a Korean class in front of Hyunwoo from Talk to Me in Korean. That would be 겁나다. 겁이 나다. Okay, so it's used commonly with these sorts of verbs. And, however, don't think that you have to use these verbs. Don't think that your sentence will be most natural if you use those verbs. You can actually use this with any action verb. Any action verb that you do or that you did because you were worried about something. So you don't have to say, I was worried that something would happen or something could happen or would be or could be. You could just say, I did something because I was worried, like that. You don't have to follow it with a verb that means that you're worried or scared. You can just follow this with any action verb that you want, anything that you do or did as a result of kind of worrying about something. Just so you know, any action verb is fine. It's not going to make your sentence sound less natural. The reason is I see a lot of sentences that use this form usually will just use 걱정하다 at the end of their sentences or 긴장하다 or something like that to make it really clear to the learner that it means they were afraid of doing something, because that's easier to use. But you don't have to. Just keep in mind that the form itself implies that you're doing something because you're worried about something. So that's in the form. You don't have to also add that as a verb to the end. You can, if that's all you want your sentence to be. You just want to say, I was worried that's it, the end. That's fine. 걱정했어요. Something gaba 걱정했어요. That's fine. But if you wanted to say, I did something because I was worried, use any action verb, anything you did. And you'll see lots of different action verbs we're going to use. I have a few sentence examples that do use 걱정하다. Let's see, I have one example in my example sentences for this lesson that uses 걱정. That's it. All the other ones are regular verbs because you don't need to use 걱정하다 or any sort of word like that in this form. Again, that should make a little bit of sense to you. Why? If you've heard the explanation, because the actual form itself implies that you're kind of afraid of something. You're kind of worried about something. Okay, we're almost done. Three more very small notes. So 3 more very small notes before we finish. Also, you can end the form. You can end your sentence with gaba. So once you've conjugated it, if you want, you can end your sentence with gaba or gaba요. And that also means just, because I'm worried about something. I'm afraid of something. I'm nervous of something. I was thinking maybe that would happen and I was kind of feeling afraid. That sort of meaning, because it's in the usage of this form implies that, because the usage of this form itself implies that you're kind of worried about something. So you can end your sentence with just gaba or gaba요. Very good. Also, you can follow this form with the 서 ending. Now, it's actually the same thing. 가, this 파 conjugation is actually the same conjugation as 파서 because, however, 서 is actually optional. Anytime 서 is used in a grammar form or a particle, not every particle, but a lot of particles, 서 is optional. So what I was trying to say something else and I said optional at the same time and it came out weird. 서 is optional and 99% of the time you don't need it. I shouldn't say that. You never need it. 99% of the time nobody uses it. So you might see like 할까 봐 서. If you want, you can add 서, but just know it has the exact same meaning as if it's not there. It doesn't add anything to the sentence. Doesn't make it sound better. Doesn't make it sound cooler. Doesn't make it sound less or more casual. If anything, it just sounds more proper. Like you're trying to be like, you're trying to write perfectly proper Korean, but it doesn't make your Korean sound better. I'll say that. So just note, you might see 서 after 파, but it's not common. And when you're translating this, actually, I'll add this later. Okay, no, that's it. That's all the notes I have for you. I have some other stuff I want to talk about this form that I'll save for after we do some example sentences. So I have now finished explaining this form. Let's do some example sentences. Finally, right? Okay. 배가. Actually, you know what? Forget our time. We're going over time. Forget it. I want you guys to finish this sentence. 배가 아플까 봐. 배가 아플까 봐. How would you finish the sentence? 배, stomach. 아프다, to hurt. 배가 아플까? Did I say 아플까? 아플까 봐. So, literally, let's look at this. You guys go ahead and make your own sentences to finish. It looks like my stomach will hurt. Looks like my stomach could or would hurt. So, therefore, or you could end it. 배가 아플까 봐. If you know the context, you could end it like that. But I won't tell you what the English translation would be. Go ahead. How would you finish the sentence? 배가 아플까 봐. Don't just stick a yo on the end, okay? I want a full sentence. I'll see what you guys are going to make. 점심을 안 먹었어요. Nice, Stephanie. 배가 아플까봐 점심을 안 먹었어요. I didn't eat my lunch because it looks like, literally, it looks like my stomach could hurt. So that's why I didn't eat lunch. Because I was thinking, oh, my stomach might hurt. It could hurt, right? It looks like it could hurt. Maybe, it might, right? It looks like it. So I didn't eat lunch because I was worried my stomach would hurt. Yeah, very good. 배가 아플까봐 안 먹었어요. Small, nice. You have a typo with 먹었어요, but nice sentence. 약을 먹었어요. Okay. You guys can have a lot of options, right? Notice how, let me see. Nobody has used 걱정하다. You could say 배가 아플까봐 걱정이야. I'm worried my stomach will hurt. And that's a perfectly fine sentence too. But you can also use this to say something you did, something you do as a result of worrying that your stomach will hurt. Don't you think that literal translation I gave you guys helps? Don't you guys think that's kind of clarifies things a bit, why it's used that way? Anyway, just reading your sentence. I don't have time to read them all out loud, but I'm going to read through all of them. Cake. Yeah, don't eat cake. 아무것도 안 먹었어요. Nice, Anselm니다. Good sentence. 약을 가져왔어요. Okay. 밥 안 먹었어요. Okay. 먹고 밥. 그래서 밥. I'm not sure what your sentence is for Mary B. Perhaps try again, or maybe you missed the explanation part where I talked about how it's used with the grammar form. 안 먹어요. 안 먹었어요. Okay. 아플까? Jess Bridges. 까봐 먹을. What is it? What was the ending you're trying to use? I'm not sure what the 됐어요 form was trying to be. 매운 김치를 못 먹었어요. Okay. I couldn't eat my mom's spicy kimchi. All right. 테리나. 아이스크림 다 안 먹었어요. Oh, it's so sad. Yeah, okay. The guy with the Russian name making an appropriate sentence. Nice. Okay, nice job. All right, so I'm just going to say 배가 아플까봐 못 먹겠어요. So I won't be able to eat anything. 배가 아플까봐 못 먹겠어요. I won't be able to eat. As in, like, I can't eat anymore because I'm worried that my stomach's going to hurt. Literally, it looks like my stomach might hurt or would hurt or could hurt. Therefore, 못 먹겠어요. I can't eat anything. I can't eat because I'm worried my stomach's going to hurt. I'm worried my stomach will hurt. I can't eat because I'm worried my stomach will hurt. When you're translating this form into English, I recommend adding the word might or maybe in your head. For making a natural translation of this form, gaba, it might help you to think of the words might or maybe in your head when you're translating it. Because remember, this ga form means could or would. But sometimes when you translate things as literally could or would in your head, it might sound a bit awkward. A more natural way to say could or would in English is usually going to be might or maybe. So I was worried my stomach might hurt. Sounds a little better than could or would hurt in some situations. So this is just one more option for when you're translating things in your head. If it doesn't sound good or natural by saying could or would, try might or maybe. It's the same thing as saying could or would, right? Might or maybe is like it has the possibility of. And that's what the ga form means. Anyway, could. It could. There's a possibility. Or it would. If that situation happens, then there is a possibility. That sort of meaning. So yeah, might or maybe. These are just two more alternative ways to add to your translations. Okay. 배가 아플까봐 못 먹겠어요. So I can't eat because I'm worried my stomach might hurt. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Stop the stream. Gotta fix this. Gotta fix it. Okay. Close. That was close, guys. Okay. Back to the lesson. Next sentence. Let's do one with 걱정. Okay. 음식이 맛이 없을까봐 걱정했어요. So, 걱정하다, to worry. So I worried because it looks like the food 맛이 없다, to not taste good, to be not delicious, to not be good tasting. Because it looked like the food could or would not taste good. So I was worried. I worried because I thought maybe the food wouldn't be good. Maybe. I was worried that the food wouldn't taste good. 음식이 맛이 없을까봐 걱정했어요. So maybe you made a bunch of food and you're worried though. 음식이 맛이 없을까봐 걱정했어요. I worried that the food wouldn't taste good. Okay. I just wanted to show you one example with 걱정하다 to show you that it can be used. When I'm speaking in Korean and I suddenly switch to English, my Korean pronunciation will go from like 걱정하다. Like I'll switch to like some weird accent of Korean as soon as I go back to English in my sentences. I have to be careful about that. 걱정하다. So whenever I use 걱정하다, you can use the sentence like this. But it doesn't add any additional information, right? 음식이 맛이 없을까봐. You could do anything because you were worried the food's not going to taste good. You could throw it away. You could go get pickup, right? You could give it to our friend Charsu. You can do anything out of worry, out of fear that the food is not going to taste good. But in this case, we're just saying, I was just worried because I was worried that the food wouldn't taste good. 음식이 맛이 없을까봐 걱정했어요. So I was worried that the food wouldn't taste good. And I would say actually it'll sound more natural to not use this with just 걱정하다 unless you really just want to emphasize, oh, I was worried. And the reason was because of this. Then fine, use 걱정하다, 걱정했어요 at the end of your sentence to say you were worried. Otherwise, if you want to say you did something and you're just explaining the reason you did something was because you're afraid of something, then don't use 걱정하다. Use whatever you did. And I think it's even easier to conjugate this form when you don't think of it as having to be used with 걱정하다. Because then you'll start worrying about like, oh, I have to add 걱정하다. I have to think of a sentence to use it in. No, it's just say the regular sentence, whatever you do or whatever you did, and explain the reason using gaba. 지금 잠을 자면. So literally, if I 잠을 자다, literally to sleep a sleep. This is just to go to sleep. If I sleep. Now, 지금 잠을 자면 아침에 일어나지 못할까봐 서요. We'll just end it like this. So here we're going to use 서 and end the sentence with 요. So we are making simply Billy is secretly a Valley girl. Arlie, oh my gosh. How dare you just like say that about me? I'll never forgive you. 지금 잠을 자면 아침에 일어나지 못할까 봐서요. So we don't have anything extra added to the end of this sentence. The only thing extra here is me, okay? If I sleep now, 지금, right now, then I'm worried. I'm not going to be able to wake up in the morning. 아침에 일어나지 못할까 봐. 못하다, cannot, 일어나지 못하다. I won't be able to wake up. 봐서요. So you could have just said 봐요. Literally just, it looks like, or here, because it looks like I won't be able to wake up early in the morning if I go to bed right now. That's the reason. So this would be the answer to something. Someone says to you, you should go to bed right now, right? And you're saying, 지금 자면 안 돼요. 지금 자러 가면 안 돼요. I can't go to bed right now. And your friend's like, 왜요? Okay, well, you're not your friend. You wouldn't be using the yo form with your close friend. But okay, someone you know. 왜요? 지금 잠을 자면 아침에 일어나지 못할까 봐서요. It's because I'm worried that if I go to bed now, I won't be able to wake up in the morning. Or literally again, because it looks like I won't be able to wake up in the morning if I go to bed right now. And therefore, I'm worried because of that. Okay. Billy Valley Girl. I hope my sister never watches. I have a sister. I have two brothers and a sister. You guys have seen one of my brothers, Alex, in some of my videos. You've never seen my other siblings. I have a sister. She doesn't watch my videos. She is Valley Girl. She would deny it, but she is a Valley Girl. And she can totally talk like a Valley Girl. Although she doesn't. She hides it. She has to hide her identity. She's older than me though, so. Okay. Next sentence. How are we on time? Grandpa Mikey is just checking the time, and Grandpa Mikey jumps in the chat. Grandpa Mikey. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now let's go on to our next sentence. Let me just get another sip of this. Hopefully it's going to be super sour again. That's going to be the video thumbnail. Like that. Me like my face like that after drinking the sour strawberry drink. It's not called sour strawberry. I don't even get it. It's just regular wild strawberry. Okay. Next sentence. 엄마한테. 엄마한테. Notice that this is actually pronounced as ante. That has to do with the hiat being a really soft sound. So it's never a hante. In fact, the only time you hear this letter as a hiat, as a sound, is when it's at the beginning of a syllable, or if it's not being affected by any other letter. So if it comes after, if it comes with a space, so anytime it's at the beginning of a syllable, is the only time you're really going to hear it. You're not going to hear it in between syllables. So it's just pronounced as 엄마한테, ante, not 엄마한테, 엄마한테. Now it's not 엄마한테, 엄마한테. It's, yeah, just don't split it up. If you split it, if you put a space here, then you would hear hante. But anytime it's in the word, it's always ante. So to mom or by mom, if it's a passive verb. 엄마한테, here it's going to be used as passive. 혼날까봐. 엄마한테 혼날까봐. 집에 못 들어가겠어요. 엄마한테 혼날까봐 집에 못 들어가겠어요. So I can't go into my house. 집에 들어가다 means to go back into your house. 집에 못 들어가겠어요. I can't go into my house because I'm worried. 혼나다 is to get in trouble. Literally, it means to be scolded, but this would be the regular way of saying get in trouble. By my mom. 엄마한테 혼날까봐 집에 못 들어가겠어요. So you stayed out really late and now you're you can't go in your house because you're worried that you're going to get in trouble by mom or from mom. 엄마한테 혼날까봐 집에 못 들어가겠어요. 엄마한테 혼날까봐 집에 못 들어가겠어요. So I can't go home. I can't go in my house because I'm afraid my mom's going to get mad at me. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble, scolded by my mom. All right. You have like a curfew at like 8 o'clock. You arrive home at like 8:05. Where were you, young man? Just joking. My mom never talked to me like that. She was good. Popcorn. And don't worry, we're not done with the lesson. We have a whole nother form we have to learn today, which will be brief because we already learned how to conjugate this form. But there's another usage of this form we're going to be doing right after these sentences. So stick around. We have not finished learning what this form is. And the second form is actually very different from this form, but it uses the same grammar. Oh, yes. 팝콘을 먹기 시작하면, when you start to eat popcorn, 멈추다 means to stop. 멈출 수 없을까 봐. 안 먹었어요. Okay. So, 팝콘을 먹기 시작하면 멈출 수 없을까봐 안 먹었어요. 팝콘을 먹기 시작하면, when you start or when I start eating popcorn, 멈출 수 없다. Cannot stop. 멈출 수 없을까봐. I'm worried I won't be able to stop if I start eating popcorn. Therefore, 안 먹었어요. I didn't eat it. So I didn't eat any popcorn because I was worried that once I started, I wouldn't be able to stop. As in stop eating it. 팝콘을 먹기 시작하면 멈출 수 없을까봐 안 먹었어요. 팝콘을 먹기 시작하면 멈출 수 없을까봐 안 먹었어요. So I didn't eat any popcorn because I was worried that once I started eating it, I wouldn't be able to stop eating it. Okay. How are you guys doing? Let me write down the next sentence. Let me know how you guys are doing for the lesson. We have 2 more sentences for this form. I'm going to write this up and then I'm going to look at the chat for a minute. Actually, let's rewrite this. I don't have any room here. 기스가 나다. That's right. 기스가 날까봐 겁나서 못 쓰겠어요. Okay, I'm just going to leave this up for a minute. You guys can read it. See, tell me guys how y'all doing in the chat. You guys following along? Is JMT? Yeah. Got $100 donation. Yeah, that's right. I did 100 dabs. That's why. Yes. And my arm, my neck still hurt. Okay. But wait. There's more. If you don't want to see what you wrote, did someone write something? I didn't see it. Okay, will you correct a sentence I make to make sure I understand its use? I don't have time during the lives to correct sentences, but I usually will tell people what they got wrong so that they can try it themselves. Like I'll say, you have a typo in here, or or pay attention to the conjugation of this form or something like that. I can do that. All right, glad you guys are doing okay. At least the ones who replied. Everyone else could be like, oh, I'm worried I didn't understand. 이해하지 못했을까봐? I couldn't write a comment because I was worried I didn't understand. Something like that. Okay, next sentence. 새 핸드폰에 기스가 날까봐 겁나서 못 쓰겠어요. 새 핸드폰, new cell phone. On my new cell phone. 기스. 기스 means a scratch or a mark, right? A scratch on your new cell phone. 기스가 나다 is to get a scratch. So to get a scratch on my new phone. 날까봐. I was worried I would get a scratch on my brand new phone. So because I was worried about that, 겁나서. 겁이 나다 means to be afraid to do something. In this case, you're afraid. 못 쓰겠어요. I can't use it. I'm afraid to use it. Literally, I feel fear and I cannot use it. I will not be able to use it. 새 핸드폰에 기스가 날까봐 겁나서 못 쓰겠어요. 새 핸드폰에 기스가 날까봐 겁나서 못 쓰겠어요. So, I can't use my new cell phone because I'm afraid it'll get scratched. Or I'm too scared to use my new cell phone because I'm afraid it'll get scratched. Something like that. 새 핸드폰에 기스가 날까봐 겁나서 못 쓰겠어요. Okay, one more sentence for this form, and then we're going to cover our next form. Don't worry, not too much left to go. We're actually doing really okay on time. The next and last sentence. It's a little bit longer. 조카가, this is 조카, niece or nephew, not the joker. That would be different. Okay, you're not, anyway, yeah, 조카, niece or nephew. 저를 기억하지 못할까 봐 연락을 더 자주 했어요. Okay. 조카가 저를 기억하지 못할까 봐 연락을 더 자주 했어요. So, 조카, niece or nephew. My niece or nephew, 저를 기억하지 못하다. Cannot remember me. 저를, me. 기억하지 못할까 봐. I'm worried that my niece or my nephew won't be able to remember me. 기억하지 못하다. Cannot remember. So, won't be able to remember me. And therefore, because I was worried that he or she wouldn't be able to remember me, because I was worried that my niece or nephew wouldn't remember me, because of that, 연락을 더 자주 했어요. 연락 means contact. 더 자주, more often. 연락을 더 자주 했어요. I contacted them more often because I was worried that they wouldn't be able to remember me. So I was worried that my niece or nephew wouldn't be able to remember me, so I contacted them more often. 조카가, I almost said nodder. I'm like trying to change the sentence to how I would say it, and I'm like, no, you gotta read what I wrote. 조카가 저를 기억하지 못할까 봐 연락을 더 자주 했어요. 조카가 저를 기억하지 못할까 봐. Reading it slowly for pronunciation. You guys can hear it. 연락을 더 자주 했어요. Okay. That was our last sentence for this usage of gaba. But there is one more use of this form that we need to talk about. And that is, this form can also be used to say that you're thinking about maybe doing something. How could that be? Wait a minute. We learned that this form literally means it looks like or it looked like something could or would do something, or something could or would be something, right? Yeah, literally. This is the ga form plus pa, 보다. So it looks like something. Well, what else can the ga form be used for? 갈까요? Shall I go? Shall we go? Shall we do something? Shall I do something? So it's kind of for making a suggestion, right? You're saying, shall I go? I mean, I guess I'll go. Shall I? What do you think? It's asking someone else's opinion about something. What do you think? Should I go? Shall we go? That sort of sense. So you can also use this same gaba form for a second meaning to say that you are thinking of doing something. I'm thinking of maybe doing something because it comes from that same gayo form. Gayo, gayo. So, literally, it looks like, shall I? Or I think, shall I? In that sort of sense. Let me give you an example. Guys, I'm joking about Caillou. Don't watch it. Terrible show. Same goes for Peppa Pig. 내일 갈까봐. 내일 갈까봐. This could mean either I am worried that someone's going to go tomorrow. 내일 갈까봐. Or it could mean I'm thinking about going. I'm thinking about maybe going tomorrow. Because literally, I'm thinking, should I go tomorrow? 내일 갈까? 봐. I think. Should I go tomorrow? I think. That sort of sense. It seems. Should I go tomorrow? Should we go tomorrow? 내일 갈까봐. I'm thinking about going tomorrow. So in that sort of sense, I'm thinking about maybe doing something. You can express that with this same gaba form because it literally means that. Or, hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Like you won't think that this is like some abstract usage of the form. You'll understand that it perfectly should make sense this way too. 새 핸드폰 살까봐. Or 살까 봐요 if you want. 새 핸드폰을 살까봐. I'm thinking, it seems, it looks like, should I buy a new cell phone tomorrow? Shall I buy a new cell phone tomorrow? That sort of thing. It seems, it looks like, shall I buy a new cell phone? I'm thinking about maybe buying a new cell phone. 새 핸드폰을 살까봐. That sort of meaning. Now, this doesn't have to be used with worries. You're just thinking about doing something because literally, the form never meant worry in the first place. You remember? It just means it looks like, as in like, it seems like, it looks like, could be or would be. Or in this case, it looks like, shall I? That sort of sense. So I'm thinking in that sort of sense. It looks like, I think it looks like I'm thinking of, shall I do something? In that sort of sense. So I'm thinking of maybe doing something. All right. And because that's all there is to it, we actually don't need to learn much more about this form. That's it. If you know how to use the form already, you can use this form. However, you might be wondering, this is an advanced note. So for all of you advanced watchers, for both of you, I don't know how many people watching are advanced. If you are advanced, you might be wondering, how is this different than the 가 하다 form? 가 하다, 갈까 하는데, 새 핸드폰을 살까 하는데, I'm thinking about buying a new cell phone. You might be thinking, how is it different than saying 가 하다? Or actually, what 가 하다 is actually 가 생각하다. However, 생각하다 is shortened to just becoming 하다. So whenever you're using the 가 하다 form, and I have a live stream about this. If you'd like to learn about this form, I have a live stream about it. You can watch and do lots of practice with it. It's the same thing. Saying 가 봐 is the same as saying 가 하다. Same exact meaning. Now, literally slightly different. 보다 is to see, like it looks like something. And this one, 하다, is actually, I'm thinking about it. So this one's more of a direct, I'm thinking about something. And gaba is like, yeah, I think, maybe should I? It's a little bit more of an uncertain if you use gaba. But they have the same translation and overall the same feeling. So you can use either gaba or 가 하다 or 가 생각하다 if you want to say thinking about doing something. As in, shall I? Not worried about something. This is not interchangeable with the worried version. This is only for the thinking about doing version. Same thing. feel free to use either one. They are interchangeable. Also, oh yeah, and if you want to watch that, that's my live stream from December 19th, 2019. Yeah, December 19th, 2019, there will be a section where I talk about 가하다. So if you'd like to learn about this, it's more of a high intermediate, it's at least a fully intermediate. It's higher level than what we're doing today. I talk about this form as well as a lot of other related forms. You might not want this yet unless you're a solid intermediate level, because it will bring up a lot of things that you don't know if you're not already an intermediate level. But if you want to learn about it, it's from this live stream. And I have a few more notes for those of you who are advanced. So let's see. Yes, that is everything for the intermediate lesson. Now for some advanced notes then. If you are using, oh yeah, this is very important. This is for you advanced learners. If you are using the gaba form, to say, you know, it seems like, it looks like, let me write this down. Like it could or would, remember, verb. So this form, if you're using gaba to mean this, and if you follow the sentence, if you follow this form, I should say, not the sentence will have something else. And if you follow this form with any verb that means to be worried. For example, anything with 걱정. So anything with 걱정 or any verb that means to be worried about something. If you follow this form with this whole section is actually optional. So you can just throw it out. You can say anything we just said previously that has to do with, if it's followed with 걱정. So if it's clear that it's done from an actual worry, you can say, we had our sentence, 음식이 맛이 없을까봐 걱정했어요. You could say, 음식이 맛이 없을까 걱정했어요. Literally, I was worried. Could the food not be good? Not, I was worried because it seemed like the food wouldn't be good, or could, or might, or could not, or would not be good. You're just directly saying, I was worried. Could the food be good? Right? Literally, and that's what it means. I was worried. Could the food be bad, or would the food be bad? In that sort of sense. So if you're following this form with any verb that directly states that you're worried, you actually don't need to add the pa, because this form by itself, I did that on purpose. This form by itself implies that you're not sure about something. You're saying maybe, it could be, it would be, it could be, right? Maybe. You're saying that already. So I was worried that maybe it could be. But if you're not following it with a phrase that says you're worried, you can't use it. So you wouldn't be able to say, 배가 아플까 못 먹겠어요. Could it taste bad? Oh, I can't eat it. Like it doesn't match, because you need to say, I couldn't eat it because I was thinking, could my stomach hurt? So it only works when you're using this with words that directly state that you're worried. Otherwise, it can't be implied that you're talking about you're worried about something. Anyway, that's just a note for advanced learners. However, I will say you don't need to do that. It's perfectly normal to just always use the 파 every single time. But you might see when it's used with a 걱정하다 or 걱정, any sort of 걱정 verb, that it doesn't have that 파. And that's why it doesn't actually need it. Literally, it still makes perfect sense. Okay. Next, this is also a note for advanced learners, but I think intermediates will like this too. So I gave you guys a bunch of examples. I gave you guys a bunch of example verbs that it can be used with. But let's talk about, I keep writing it backward. I swear, am I like, is that something? I keep writing words backwards. 걱정. So there's a lot of verbs. There's 걱정이. Let's do that too. Whenever I'm writing the circle and then I'm writing a parentheses, I'll close the parentheses instead of finishing the subject marker. Okay, let's write it smaller. 걱정이 되다. 걱정. See? 이다. 걱정하다. Actually, let's write this complete. Let's give a little more space. I'm going to write a note about each of these. 걱정을 하다. And 걱정. There we go. This is better. Now there's more room for me to write. Okay. 걱정이 되다. 걱정하다. And 걱정이다. What is the difference? All of these mean to worry. So when do you use each one? I can't write. There we go. When do you use each of these verbs? They all mean to worry. Literally, 걱정이 되다 means to become a worry. So to be a worry. Like that is a worry to me. 걱정이다 directly means something is a worry. And 걱정을 하다 means to literally to do a worry or just to worry. So they can all translate as to worry in English. But there's actually a difference between each of these, how it's used. I'll give you a pro tip. This is also something I'm not going to be putting into the abridged version of the live stream, just for time purposes. You guys get it from the live stream today. Grammatically, you could use any of these in any situation, but it's going to sound awkward in all of the cases if you just use it however, if you're just randomly picking one and using it. Most of the time, it's fine to use 걱정이 되다 and 걱정이다 in the present tense. So you can say 걱정이 돼, 걱정돼, 걱정돼요. Present tense. Sounds good. 걱정이에요. Present tense. Sounds good. However, using 걱정되다 in the past tense will sound awkward. If you said 걱정이 됐어요. So it can be a bit awkward. 걱정됐어요. More common when you're using past tense. Use 걱정하다. 걱정했어요. Also, if you're using the progressive tense, use 걱정하다. I am worrying about something. I am worried. I am worrying. 걱정하고 있어요. Never say 걱정되고 있어요. No. And 걱정이고 있어요. Doesn't make any sense grammatically. So if you want to say I am worrying, well, you only have one choice. 걱정하고 있어요. If you want to say I worried, the most common is also 걱정했어요. I worried. But if you're doing present tense, use 걱정되다. 걱정이 돼요. 걱정돼요. Like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's all the notes for this. So just keep it in mind. The star is which one it sounds the most natural in. You can use 걱정이다 or 걱정이 되다 in the present tense. I think that if you're just using present tense, you can use either of these. However, if you're using 이다, there's a slight... This one's typically used to directly say that something is worrying you, like a specific noun. Something is a worry, is a concern. And this one is like something is being a concern. Something is going to be a concern. Something is concerning. Like that's concerning to me, that sort of thing. But they're very similar in meaning. To be concerned, like it is a concern, literally, like I'm worried about it, or it is something that is concerning. So in English, it's kind of the same. Like I'm concerned about it, or it is concerning. Which, are you focusing on the object itself, or are you focusing on your feelings? They're both quite similar, though. You can use either one for present tense. But yeah, past tense, progressive tense, use this one. Do not use this for present tense, though. Don't say 걱정해요. 걱정해요. No, sounds awkward. 걱정돼요. So yeah, these are just some notes. Of these, I would say gaba 걱정했어요. gaba 걱정돼요. gaba 걱정. I think 걱정했어요 sounds really good though. If you want to talk about that you were worried. I think typically you'll say that you were worried about something when you're saying something that you did, right? You're not going to say I am worried so I did something as much as you'd say I did something because I was worried. So this one tends to get used a little bit more, I would say. 걱정했어요. in past tense. Anyway, so that is a note for you advanced or intermediate speakers who've already learned all three of these words. If you haven't learned all three of these words already, don't worry about that. Just focus on using this form as it is. Don't even worry about using this form with 걱정 at all. You don't need to, as we learned. Okay, again, reminder that all of these live streams are going to be the worksheets. You can get them right now on Patreon. The outlines are going to be on Patreon as well as soon as this live stream ends. You can also get, if you want to support me, there's another way through merchandise. I think I have something pinned up there you can check out. I don't even know if it's still there. Yeah, I think it's still there. And if you are a member of this channel, you can get access to watch the abridged version of today's live stream tonight in a few hours from now. So thanks for watching, and I can take questions for a little bit. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask for the next 15 minutes, or we could just hang out. Thanks for coming, guys. Someone got hidden. I didn't even get to see it. That's too bad. Okay. Someone asked Ocean Discovery. That's a good question. What is the difference between 걱정 and 고민? Yeah, very good question. Completely different words. Very easy explanation. If you search these in Naver, they will show you similar definitions. 걱정 is like a worry or a concern. And this will also show a worry or a concern. 걱정 is used for a legitimate thing that you're worried about. Something that you could get stress about. Something that's actually concerning. 고민 is just something you're thinking about. You're not stressed about it, really. You might get a little bit of stressed. You're not worried about it. You're just kind of concerned. You're thinking about it is better. So when you're worried about what you're going to wear tomorrow, when you're worried about how many people are going to come to your party, when you're worried about whether you've studied enough for your test, 고민, you're just kind of thinking about it. You're worried, but it's just a thought. It hasn't crossed over into becoming a full-blown concern. Full-blown concern. 걱정 is a real concern. You are worried. Actually, you're worried that you're going to fail. You're not going to 고민 that you're going to fail. You can 고민 that you might not do that great, but if you're worried about failing, you're actually stressed and everything, that's 걱정. If you're just thinking, oh, what music should I listen to? What movie should I watch? I'm worried about what movie would be best. That's just 고민. Thinking about something. You can just think about it as thinking about. And I just saw I got another donation. Let's check who that is. Thank you, whoever it is. I haven't looked yet. Evolving Brain. Hey, Evolving Brain. Are you still... How much have you evolved since the last time you donated? 2 dabs. Thank you, Evolving Brain. How do you say if only? By that, can you give me an example? Because there is no grammar form just if only. You'd have to give me a sentence to show you what you mean by that form. But there is not just a if only form that'll work. There are several forms that can translate in English as if only, but it would be completely different depending on the sentence. You'd have to give me a sentence that you're thinking. Yeah, there are several grammar forms that pop into my head right now that can mean if only in different sentences. Wonder, small wonder. Wonder would be 궁금하다, like you're curious. That would be a little different. But if you want to translate it as wonder and just keep in mind that it is actually something that you're concerned about, just that it's not a bad concern, then sure, wonder could be fine for translating. Question came out about whether there will be a live stream. Yeah, there's a live. It's on my schedule, and you can check out my live stream schedule. I think I have a command for that. You can always see my live stream schedule. It's on my channel page. Let's see. Calendar. Here we go. Let me put it in here. Okay. You have to give Nightbot a second. It'll post a link to the calendar. Yeah, I always give that as an example, like what clothes I should wear. Like, what would you say for that? Like, would you say I'm worried about what clothes to wear? I'm thinking about what clothes I should wear. I'm wondering what clothes I should wear. Sure, that works. Yeah, like literally it does mean like a worry or a concern, but it's not a concern. It's not like something you're actually stressed about. Or I should say it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Whereas 걱정 is actually a problem. Yeah, that's posted right there. Anytime you guys want to know the schedule for my classes, just click on that and it's always updated. The way it goes is 3 live streams and then 1 live stream that I take off for a break and then 3 more. Next stream, we will get all new options for voting. So if you guys have any requests for topics that you'd like to see, feel free to give them. I do take requests first from members. So if you have a topic suggestion and you are a member, I will be getting to your suggestion first before any other ones. But once I've already used the ones that members have suggested, I can have space for other people's suggestions. So feel free to suggest if you have any ideas for topics you'd like to learn about. 현우 선생님 says, 곧 있으면 is changeable with 곧. Is it more natural to use just 곧? No, 곧 있으면 sounds fine. Is 과소 obscure? It's not obscure. Can you give me evolving brain? I need some more context to your questions. You asked a question previously too. Oh, I see you did. If only I had 31 million in Teslas. If only I had $31 million. Sure. If only I had $31 million. Okay, for your other question first. If only, hold on, 2 dabs. If only I had, if you're saying if only I had, well, that's a different form. Like I said, you shouldn't think of things in terms of how do I say this grammar form in Korean, because that will never work. Almost never. You will be able to get a grammar form that matches with an English form. It's always the other way. Like, how can I say this general idea in Korean, but not a form? Because that will never, like, the way I could translate it for you doesn't match for any other situation that I would think about for saying if only. Like, if only you were to do that, if only that happened, if only you go there. That's different than this form that you're asking if I only had. And the thing is, you might even just want to say something different, like just if I were rich. If I were a rich man. Yeah, I don't know if I'd get copy strike for that, so I'll just stop. 부자, 내가 부자였으면. Literally, if I were a rich person. 부자, 내가 부자였으면, or 제가 부자였으면. That's how I would say it to sound the most natural. You could say, literally translate, if I only had, as in, if I had, not if I only had, because if you said if I only had, literally, that would be that's the only money you have. Like, all I have is $31 million. I don't have any more. I only have 31. If I only had 31 million, like in that sense, it's completely different. So you can't really translate grammar forms like that. Your other example, 과소. Not really. I mean, I'm curious where you would ask that from. I'm trying to find the hanja for that. Because there's a few different words. If you're talking about, there's a few different 과소. If you're talking about 과소 as in like, qua is overly, 소 is small, so like too small. There's a few different ones though. I'm not really sure what you're talking about with that. So you'd have to give me more context, because there are a few different words that could be that. And then is it commonly used in writing? Like if you needed to say that, then sure. Is it commonly used in speaking? Again, depending what word you mean. So, 과사 or 과소? You said 과소 before. Come on, evolving brain, evolve faster. Evolve faster. We don't have time for this. Yeah, if I only had money and if only I had money are also different. Yeah, that's the thing. I would not recommend trying to translate specific grammar expressions like that into Korean, because you're going to have a bad time. They won't exist. I don't think you would ever get lucky if you're thinking about how can I translate this specific grammar form into English. Now, there are a lot of grammar forms that are like slang expressions that you could have easy ways to translate them, like slang expressions such as like forget that. Like there are going to be equivalents to expressions like that, but then you have to always keep it with context. For example, if I told you how to say, like, forget that, I can't even do this. Like that sort of expression. You can say that in Korean too, just the same way. But then you have to understand that that doesn't mean literally forget that. So you have to keep in mind the context. Like in a certain context, in this context, yes, you can translate that for that. But that doesn't mean you're thinking of this word, you can translate it. There is nothing like that in Korean or English. There always are going to be exceptions. 과소, you said 과사, now 과소. I really don't understand exactly what you're trying to... 위험이 적습니다. The danger is low. Well, if you're talking about is it common or obscure, if it's written, it's not obscure. There's just a lot of Hanja words that you'll only see in like newspapers and stuff like that. So in which case it's fine. People probably won't hear it in speech very much unless you're like watching the news a lot. Devolving. Devolving brain. Oh, that's mean. I wouldn't. Yeah, so your answer to your question, it's neither. It's not commonly used, nor is it obscure. It would fit in the situation where you need to use it. You are earning money $2 at a time. Right. I teach American college students Korean. Oh, nice. And I found this channel extremely helpful. I hope that it can be helpful. I hope that you can find some good explanations, style of explaining things. And I hope you can adapt it to fit your style. That's cool. Let's see. It is late now in the country where I am. ESD. I will get up for school in 2 hours and study Korean on this channel in the afternoon. Yeah, thanks. We love you. Thank you. I love you too. Oh, we did not take a thumbnail, and I really do not want to use the thumbnail of me after I drank this sour strawberry drink. Oh, that is still sour. I didn't take a thumbnail though. I guess I'll just have to find one from the lesson. Let's see. Arlie. In 음료수 한 번 먹기 힘드네. 아, 한 번. 한 번 and 한 번 are different. They are pronounced the same way. 한 번, 한 번. Zero difference between them. The difference is this word has a space. They are different. 한 번. Once. One time. I went to Korea once. I saw that movie once. Once. I looked at it. I watched it once. I did that once. One time is 한 번. 한 번. Without a space. Literally also has the same meaning. But it's used to say sometime. As in, without a specific date. Try it sometime. You should go there sometime. Eat it sometime. Check that movie out sometime. As in, literally, like one time, but it's used to say like trying to do something. So in Korean, they say do it once as a way to say try it out. 한 번 해봐. 한 번 봤어. Like, yeah, I checked it out, or I watch it sometime. 한 번 같이 밥 먹자. 한 번 같이 밥 먹자. Let's eat together sometime. In that sort of sense. As in, like, let's do something. Let's try it out. So a new experience. So that's what it is. Oh, I got another donation. Hey, Cheryl. Just a small donation. Thank you for all your hard work. Thanksgiving week is a good time. I forgot it's Thanksgiving week. That's right. It's a good time to show thankfulness. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. It's really nice. I forgot it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing almost nothing for Thanksgiving this year. I'm not going to be flying anywhere. I'm not going to be traveling. I'm going to go to my mom's house and we're going to sit in the backyard, like 10 feet apart from each other, outside. Not even going indoors. Can't do that. We'll wear masks and then we'll sit down 10 feet away from each other. Different serving utensils, different stuff. We're not going to be interacting close and eat lunch and then leave. That's what we're doing. We have to eat early because it's going to get cold in the evening. That's my Thanksgiving. And it's going to be a really small Thanksgiving. Yeah, not even touching the same stuff. That's what we decided is acceptable for my family to do. I'm like, we didn't want to do anything actually. But then my mom's like, well, okay, what if we do this? What if we do this? I'm like, okay. If we're really far apart and we're not, getting close, we're not hugging or doing anything, like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, mostly this year is pretty much not doing much. Thanks, Cheryl, though. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Any other Korean questions? Stephanie wrote something in Korean. $1만으로 우리가 이 채널을 얼마나 좋아하는지 증명할 수 있다면 we can only prove with $2 we can prove how much we like this channel. Tani E, thank you Tani. Yes, let the cash flow from you. Yes, good. Trying to do my my emperor impression. Let the cash flow. Strike me down, and you shall become more. Wait, what would it be? Donate to me, and you shall become more poor than before. Something like that. Okay. I don't know if Billy is joking, and I don't know if I should laugh yet or not. I'm always joking. You gonna be shaving your hair during a live lesson? They say it's best to leave doors and windows open during Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go inside. I'm not even going indoors. So just avoid that entirely. That's what I said. I'm only gonna be outside. Evolving brain. You do not type faster than my mom. My mom used to be a professional typist. But thank you. That was a long time ago in the 70s when the job of professional typist existed. I'll say something though for your translation. You do not want to joke about people's parents in Korean. In English, it's very funny to make like your mom jokes, but in Korean, it's considered offensive. And people might laugh if they're familiar with American culture or they're a good English speaker, they're familiar with that. They might laugh, they'll get it. But if they're learning English, like a regular Korean, they wouldn't get why it's funny. They might just think, I get it, it's an American joke, but I don't like it. And at worst, they could feel offended by it. So I wouldn't say something about somebody else's mother unless you're trying to say it completely seriously, like in context. If your friend says, my mother types very quickly, and you want to say, oh, I can type even faster than your mom, that's fine. That's not offensive. But if you want to make a joke, like your friend says, oh, I type really fast, and you say, oh, I can type faster than your mom, like it's kind of funny in English. Well, it could be funny, but in Korean, it would just be considered an offensive joke, and they probably wouldn't get it. So I would avoid it. You could say whoever you're talking about, 보다 more than, 타자 would be typing. 더 빨리 치는데, I guess you can even say 더 빨리. You don't even need to use 타자, but that's the word. 치다 is to type, so 치는데 I type faster than whoever, 철수. But like I said, don't make it about someone's parents unless you're seriously talking about it, because it would be taken offensively in Korea. It's just different culture. They don't make jokes about their family members like we would do. Especially things like, yo mama jokes that wouldn't really go over well in Korea. I remember guess the origin of my username, Evolving Brain. I don't know. Is it an Animaniacs reference? The most offensive Korean word that I know, actually, I would never share it, has to do with another person's mom. It's yeah. They just take it very offensively. Like I'm not, because I know what it is. I'm used to regular American culture, and it's totally meaningless. It's just a joke. But if I were in Korea, I would never try to make that kind of joke, though. It would only be taken offensively, especially in my position, being able to speak Korean. I'm not like a beginner who is still putting together sentences, and they're going to forgive me if I make a joke like that. They're going to think I just didn't know or I wasn't trying to be rude. But in my position, if I were to say that, it would be really rude. So yeah, careful about that. Ichidroid asked, how is today's grammar form? Ichidroid, did you just get here? I had the whole lesson explaining that. Completely unrelated to those forms. I do have live stream about that form though. So you can check it out on the live stream playlist that I have on my channel, but zero relation to it. Except that they both use the verb 보다, to see. Hey, Auni Pasha, I just found out that you have a live stream. Yeah, I've been doing a live stream for now over 2 years. Let's see. 걱정하지 마세요. Yep, don't worry. Also in Spanish, never ever say so much. Yeah, things like tu madre jokes could also be offensive in Spanish, I believe, too. And I only took 1 semester, 1 quarter of a Spanish class in junior high school, and I think I learned that type of stuff, too. Yeah, it's just, they consider the family very important, and it would be taken offensively. They don't have those types of jokes. They have other jokes, other offensive jokes, but not those. Isa, following suit. It's Thanksgiving after all. Thank you, Isa. Your donations will go directly toward, I have to buy some ingredients for cooking Thanksgiving food. I'm going to make, what am I going to make? Green bean casserole. And, I'm also getting the Martinelli's. I'm also bringing apple juice. That's it. That's what I'm responsible for, green bean casserole. So your donations will go to delicious green bean casserole. 정말 감사합니다. Thank you, Isa. 정말 감사합니다, Isa 씨. It's morning here in Malaysia, 7:32, but I woke up at 6. How to say that in Korea for beginner? You can just say 여기 말라시아에서. Let's keep it simple. 지금 아침이에요. Now it is the morning. 지금 아침이에요. There you go. Any further, and we're not going to be in the super beginner level anymore. 7:32, 7시 32분. And then 6 o'clock would be 6시. So you can say, 하지만 6시에 일어났어요. But I woke up at 6 o'clock, like that. No turkey? What about, what's wrong? There will be turkey, definitely. Martinelli's is excellent, yes. Martinelli's is great. Even when Martinelli's goes flat, like you let out all the carbonation, then it's just apple juice. It's still good. Like, usually if soda goes flat, you like toss it because it tastes horrible. But Martinelli's goes flat and it's just apple juice. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's still good. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I think we'll stop here then. I don't want to go on too long. I really appreciate all of your guys for coming in. And for those of you also who were able to support, a special big thanks to Jims for being our sponsor for today's stream, as well as to everyone else who donated as well. Chris White, Grandpa, Devolving Brain, Cheryl, Tani E, and Isa for your support as well. Oh, did you frequently eat meat substitutes as a child? I don't know, not frequently. Didn't say so. Does things like Vienna sausage or Spam? I guess hot dogs count as a meat substitute, don't they? I had just like regular food as a kid. My mom cooked a lot. So I got exposed to all food. One time, I know I already finished. One time, like my mom would literally cook everything from every culture. She was just really interested in doing cooking. So she had books for like Thai cooking, books for like Mexican cooking. My mom's not Mexican. Books for lots of Jewish cookbooks, some like Greek food, and we just had everything. She'd make it really good. She'd get like real recipes, and she'd go to the like marketplaces in those like she went to Chinatown markets and Filipino markets, and she'd ask them directly what ingredients are good, and they, she'd get real stuff. And I remember one time when I was probably 4, she made our family cow brains. Cow brains, yes, brains. And didn't tell anyone what it was until after the meal. I think she said my dad went and threw up. I don't remember. I don't know what I did. But yeah, like, and we had cow eye soup. I think at least once or twice. She made tongue a few times. We had just like everything. One thing that she made several times was octopus. She would buy an octopus and it was already dead. You know, she wouldn't have to kill it. Take octopus and you just chop it up and cook it and eat it with butter. And we'd have that a bunch. Like she just cooked like everything. So I got to try a lot of different kinds of food. So I'm pretty like, when it comes to food, there is like nothing I cannot eat. I'm not, that's not to say I'm not picky. I do have my foods that I like and I don't like anyone else. But it's not to the point where I can't eat it. Like I'll take it off my meal. There's nothing like that. I can eat. You guys, if you watched my video about I'll eat the surströmming, the Swedish food that smells like a baby diaper. Seriously, it smells that bad. And I enjoyed it. And what is it? Yeah, there's nothing. I'm not really that picky about food. So if you're asking, you're just asking about meat substitutes. Yeah, I had sometimes I would have Spam. Actually, my first experience with Spam was I bought a can of Spam. My mom bought a can of Spam, and I didn't know how to cook it. I just wanted to try eating it, so I just stuck a fork in the Spam, pulled it out of the jar. I pulled it out of the can, and it's just this big blob, the big rectangle blob of Spam. And I just took a bite out of it raw. And I'm like, this isn't good. And I never wanted to have it again because I'm like, this just tastes horrible. And then only later when I went to Korea, so this is, 18, I guess, 19. Anyway, when I first had it, sometime I was in Korea and I'm like, what is this? This tastes really good, but I don't know what it is. And they're like, oh, that's Spam. And I'm like, this is Spam? Wow, this tastes amazing. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for coming to the live stream today. And that was a disgusting conversation we just had. And I'll see you guys again next week. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. All right, let's get this board out of the road. All right, there we go. Now I can just go for a nice little walk. I do this every time. It doesn't get any funnier. Bye, guys. See you.